Welcome to Manchester Field. You are joining us live during the national anthem broadcast for this D1AA college rugby playoff between the University of San Diego Toreros and American River College Beavers. Good afternoon again. My name is Scott Thomas, Assistant Director of Rugby at the University of San Diego Toreros. I am joined in the booth by the fantastic Will Hooley. Will, great to have you here, man.
Scott, fantastic to be here. What a day in Southern California. What a day for a bit of playoff rugby as well. Two great universities going up at each other. It's great to be back. Good to be back with you as well.
So good to be here. It's a beautiful day here, about 73 degrees here, April 5th, 2025. A slight eastern-facing wind out of the canyon, out of Tecolote Canyon. It's going to be blowing from our left to right as you're watching the broadcast. So look for that perhaps to influence the kicking in this early going as well. Prior to this game, we will also be having a very special memorial moment of silence for the venerable Lock Vetter, absolute staple in American rugby. Lock influenced so many people's lives in the rugby environment in the United States, coached multiple programs to a higher level, inspired many, many young men to be the best versions of themselves. Myself included, brought me out to a beautiful brunch when I first arrived in San Diego, gave me some coaching tips. He thought it was the next big thing. He was wrong about that, but he was a great man and let his legacy inspire us to positively influence all of those that we come in contact with, Will.
It's fantastic. I mean, ultimately, when you look to the almost the pioneers of the growth of rugby in America, and you know, no matter who it is and what's been done before, makes a huge difference to now and the position that USD are in and USA Rugby going forward as well, American rugby in general. So pay respects absolutely to Lock Vetter, and yeah, poignant moment.
Yeah, absolutely. USD honored him by invoking him into our Hall of Fame recently. We're so lucky to have him there and be part of us, and we know that he's watching down on us, even though he's been called up by the big sir in the sky. So thank you, everything you've done, Lock. Let your legacy continue to inspire us. I hope this match is fitting of your legacy as well. The sir has both sides lined up here. We will be kicking off briefly. We do have a concurrent environment here with the softball grand opening of their new facility. So just a great day of sports down here on this part of campus, University of San Diego, America's most beautiful campus.
No bias there at all. But you are right. It's a beautiful day, beautiful campus. And hopefully the rugby can also be beautiful too.
I'm just repeating what the Princeton Review had to say about us. I'm sure there's no bias in any college rankings at any point, right, Will? Sir has blown his whistle. The Beavers will be kicking to the Toreros to start. Cade Caulfield has made his mark under it. Ducked the first tackler who went high up overhead. And we have the first breakdown ruck of the match. Caleb Thomasine dumps it back to Lou Trelfier, who appears to have earned a 50-22. The touch judge flag has gone up. That will be the Toreros line out here inside the 22-meter line.
What a start. What a start there. You say, I think the kick came from Tomlinson, or actually no.
Kick was from Lou Trelfier.
It's my bad, just from my position. I thought maybe it was from the scrum half. I know how good a player he is. But what that does now completely changes the picture. Got the territory, now with the line out inside of the 22.
Drew Young, the hooker, will throw into the line out, see if the Toreros have some kind of set piece here to score something. However, what do we have here? Is a reset on the channel, perhaps? The server's not ready for the throw. He's now put himself in good position. Beautiful lavender shirt on that sir here, Will. Maul is formed from the lineout. Toreros are trying to drive their way through. Beavers have set up a dam of defense inside of their 22-meter here, trying to prevent the Toreros from scoring. However, it looks like an advantage has been gained by the Toreros for them. A Maul penalty. Thomasine spins it out to Trophier, who's under a lot of pressure early on, so we'll go back to the penalty advantage here, Will.
Yeah, a little bit of a kick to nothing there from Trophier. I mean, you could see what he was trying to do with that penalty advantage, maybe just giving his winger an opportunity on the cross kick, but they will have the ability now to stick it just 5 meters out. Great start here for the Toreros, all from that 50-22. And in a playoff game, you really just want to get that first score on the board. So would surprise me, they just want to try and go to their driving game again, as the Toreros set it up pretty well before, but can they go over now from 5 meters out?
Absolutely, they're loading up their line out here, lifting up Dustin Braun into the line out, one back and mauling again. Sir's trying to hold the Beavers back, but it looks like some meters have been gained by the Toreros. Can they put it down? Surely in the try zone. Sir's awarded the try to the Toreros. Quick score for the Toreros here in the 3rd minute, Will. All coming from that maul drive.
That's exactly the start someone like head coach Charlie Purden would have wanted. Definitely having a look at this ARU Beavers team. They're a big set of guys, big set of boys. To bring your assertancy on the game early in a position like that, a good driving ball, that will give the Toreros a lot of confidence. And that first points, that first try of the game, Scott, that they were definitely looking after.
Always difficult to see who dots the ball down from a rolling maul try, especially difficult to see that part of the field away from us. So apologies if that was you or your son or your daughter. Well, probably not your daughter. It's a men's match. Or your cousin or something like that. We'll try to get the name there. Trophier will be converting tries in the day. Slightly difficult attempt for him here. Trophier in his motion. Drives it up. He's got the distance. Flags go up. It is a true conversion for Trophier. Not an easy one there, Will, but it makes it 7-0 Toreros early on.
Great start for the kicker, Trophier. I mean, I know as a former kicker myself, just getting that first one over always allows you to settle yourself into the game. And as a start goes for the Toreros, this is perfect. They have that wind. A reminder, if you're watching from left to right, the Toreros have that wind, that breeze. Use it to the advantage. Get that territory. Get those 50-22s.
Absolutely, as that restart comes in from the Beavers again to Cade Caulfield, who's going to be bringing this one back, and this time is delivering a little bit of the force himself. Thomasine spins it out to the forward pack, latched on for that second phase here, setting up. Contested maul, contested ruck, and Lou Trophier will again clear it out. It bounces over the head of the wing and is going back into the try zone. A little bit of pressure here going to hand there for a counterattack. A little bit of a cheeky chip kick here that might work. It does. Collected by the Beavers, but then knocked on. Collected finally again by Trophier, the man who originally kicked it. Habib on the sideline trying to stay in as best he can. However, 4 Beavers will corral him into touch. It will be a Beavers line out about the 10-meter line.
I think today's going to be physical. I think it's safe to say that. Seeing those hits going on the sideline, Paul Habib is certainly number 12 for Torero. He's a physical guy himself, but when you look across this field, I'm going to mention it again, there are some big units in this game, and you just think this is a bit of Hermano versus Hermano.
Absolutely. It will be the Toreros scrum following that knock advantage by the Beavers, following their little chip kick there. So Thomasine will feed the ball back into the scrum. Has come out. It's a successful scrum for the Toreros. Habib back to Trophier, out to Jackson Short, who's knifing through the defense here. Punishing tackle by the Beavers. Next phase for the Toreros here. Trying to get a good look on, but it looks like the ball was, I believe it was knocked by the Toreros, so it'll be Beaver scrum down here.
Good initial play from the scrum, trying to use your winger, trying to get it to the width. Maybe a bit of space out there, but just an element of execution. That's fine. We only have just over 5 minutes on the board, and it's all been the Toreros. They've had the ball, they've had the territory. They'll be pretty happy with this. As you just think for the Beavers, this is now a matter of, do you kick into this wind, or do you actually try and chance your arm and have a go from your own, well, ultimately 22.
Right, you are, Will, and it's an inconsistent kind of gusting wind there, so you're really rolling dice if you're putting the ball to foot for the Beavers here. Let's see what they're looking to do as they win their scrum. Ball's back to the 10. Into contact, a nice tackle by Paul Habib. Vita Vea there in the carry for the Beavers. Spun out and unfortunately knocked on. It's Toreros. Scrum will be set again.
There you go. I think that was 12. That was Trey Robinson with the initial carry. Did try and carry it outside of the 22. Would have liked maybe the Beaver number 12 just to use the hands, maybe use his men on the width. There was a bit of space that Torero were offering him, but instead he took it up. But it was the passage after that, just an early drop ball. Just as forwards, you want to get yourself set really early. As soon as this pass comes, you get to see he's taking his eye off the ball. Good defense, good line speed by the Toreros.
The result is a dangerous scrum position here for the Toreros, and a penalty called on the American River College 9, Dylan Alexander. Possibly an offsides position. So the Toreros now have a decision here. Will, they're about 20 meters from the posts, centered in the field, so they may look to kick a penalty conversion here, make it a two-possession game.
Yeah, I think just having an extra 3 points in this match, and you know, the wind is and the breeze, whatever you want to call it, it is something that by half time you want to have a sizable lead to take in, not having to do too much work. Let the Beavers chase the game. This is exactly the sort of tactic I would want to be using as well. Just build your scoreboard in playoff rugby.
Troffer will go through his motions once more. Slot the ball through the post to make it 10-0 Toreros here in the 8th minute of play.
Good start all round then for the Toreros. And as for ARU, the Beavers just had no ball. So it's hard to make any judgment on them just yet. I know they've had a recent program, only been around properly for the last sort of couple of years or so, but they've had success. So for their side of things, they just want to settle themselves in. If they can, just maybe try and put some height on this restart. Try and get competitive. Try and get the ball back and try and build some phases.
They may just kick the ball to Kate Caulfield for a 3rd time. Wouldn't advise it necessarily myself, but the ball does find the turf here. It bounces to Trough here, scrambling around. It will send a nice exiting kick through the hands of the American River College wing, but it bounces up. He's recovered well. Looking to make a couple moves, makes the first man miss, offloads. Down into a ruck for the Beavers. Won cleanly. Beavers will reload and recycle here, but a nice driving back tackle by the Toreros, and looks like they're looking to jackal here, poach the ball. Have they done so? No, it's a penalty on the Toreros. Tackler must not have rolled away or released Will.
Yeah, that was what the referee was calling. Always as a tackler, try and get yourself away from the breakdown as soon as possible. Get yourself back to your feet. Referee's always going to look to ping you on that. If you have any way of preventing the ball coming back to the attacking side illegally, that's going to be a penalty. So I'm now I'm interested to see what the Beavers have up their sleeve. First attacking line out for them as we just take another look at this highlight. Yeah, good defense, good double hit. That's what you want to see from the Toreros, but in the end, maybe harsh. But anyway, here we go. Beavers now finally have an attacking line.
Color commentary and rules analyst Will Hooley knows all the laws. As we are looking to reset here in the first line out, it is a nice deep throw by the American River College hooker. That's Juju Volavola. As the Beavers will have a attacking line here, but a nice tackle by Jackson Short, bringing the Beavers back into their own half, but keeping possession. Rugby is a game of possession. Beavers reload for another phase of play. Big forward here, number 3, A.B. Faliga. On that tight head carry, very nice. Next prop, Billy Foe. A little bit of a driving, rolling run there. Toreros are retreating a bit. They're coming right on midfield here. The chip kick is attempted and will not find touch initially, but will bounce into touch. So I believe it will be the Toreros ball here.
Just checking that. Did it come off the hand of Michael Lewis? Just have a look at the touch. Even the touch judge is just waiting to confirm. Right, so it is Toreros' ball. Not a bad tactic there from the Beavers, just to poke it over the top. For a moment, I thought they were going to kick this out on the full.
Yeah, cheeky little up and under there. And a nice bit of strategy from the assistant ref there, keeping 2 hands on the touch flag.
Yeah, not giving it away too early. He didn't want to, didn't want to get it wrong, but I don't mind that. Good bit of territory now for the Beavers, and if I was them, I'd really try and attack this line out. Get one of your big jumpers up in the air and make Torero have to either throw over you or make it accurate.
It's a messy line out there, I believe, off the hands of Cody going back into touch. So it looks like we'll just do this again in a similar position. However, was this a knock advantage given to the Toreros? It was. Excuse me, it was an initial knock by the Beavers, then knocked by the Toreros. So we scrum down to the Toreros here, Will.
Scrum down, and having seen the cannon that is the boot of Lucas Trofia, you like to think that either he's going to send this long, or maybe from the scrum. I remember the last scrum that we had, it was a penalty for the Torero. So interesting tactics now for the USD to show their hand.
It appears like the Toreros will be possibly just outside of their 22, so they will carry out here. Habib with the run out. Thomasine to Drew Young. Met well by the defense of the Beavers. Third phase here by the Toreros. That will be a ruck penalty committed by the Beavers. Penalty to the Toreros there, Will. Possibly a side rucker.
Yeah, trying to come in with the counter-attack there. Edgar Montes from the Beavers. And just a reminder that as this ball literally comes in to where we are here. There you go, right, pretty much in the action.
Right into your neighborhood.
I was just saying how you got to make sure that if you are at that breakdown and you're going to try and counter it, you've got to come through the middle, come around the side, and from an offside position, that's never going to be good. So right call, right decision, as now Toreros move up towards halfway.
Young throws into the line out. Ball given, collected by Dustin Braun. Loop back around is Drew Young here for a run. No meters gained there, but here's Caulfield. Thomasine spins it out to Lou Troffier. Give again to Michael Lewis out to the wing here. Chase Bassalin with his first carry of the game. It's another highly contested ruck, a ton of pressure and a lick put on Caleb Thomasine. However, will be an offsides call against the Beavers there, forcing them to retreat another 10 meters, Will.
See, the referee's going to have a word, but I actually think maybe the Toreros were lucky with this one. Talked earlier just about the counter ruck and coming through the middle. I thought the Beavers came through pretty well on that. And then when the ball was out, rightfully, the Beavers player came to tackle Tomlinson. But I think it was called for hands in the ruck, as now the referee just keeps his influence on the game, making sure nothing goes or boils over. But I've got to say, I think that was maybe harsh against ARU.
Just a quick chat with the captains here of either side.
We just have a look at it on the edge. Good tackle. I knew, as I said, it's going to be physical. And then this is a good counter ruck. Good to come through. But was there a hand? Didn't quite see that on the replay. But was there a hand? That was what the referee said. So the Torero just allowed to move up this pitch into the 22 from that penalty.
Yeah, just like that, the Toreros have found themselves in another good attacking platform. Beavers have made their defensive strategy known. They're going to be coming in hot and heavy, contesting almost every ruck, coming in hot, putting a lot of pressure on the scrum half, fly half, looking to make those early hits, make their presence known. Ball is won by Dustin Braun here. We're going to be in a rolling maul situation here for the Toreros, looking to make some meters as the forwards join in on the effort. Looks like it's stalled where it is currently, and they will go down, play a phase. Thomasine with a deep spin pass to his right. It's going to be Danny Sir making his first man miss, but looped around to make the tackle down. Finds the turf. Torero forwards are looping around to the right-hand side. That's Brandon Guiducci on a nice bumping run. Sam Carlson, his first carry of the game. Good tackle by Woody. Dustin Braun again, trying to find a soft spot in the defense of the Beavers. Tori Kapus with a nice little bump here. Toreros are finding little meters here. Here is just Jackson Short edging towards that try line for the Toreros. A cut and a dive by Paul Habib, and that will be 5 points under the post. Bring the score 15-0 Toreros.
A great passage of play for the Toreros. and actually all stemmed by the scrum half. And Caleb Thomason, his ability to work around the ruck and get the ball going. That ball was rapid coming out of that breakdown. Good, clean work, good ball carrying. I love the way how Jackson Short came off his wing. Just seeing here, just punching a hole, a little shoulder ball off Tomlinson. And then what that does is that you're in behind. It's hard to get the defense then coming on the front foot, always on the back foot. And there you have it. Big Paul Habib gets over. But I did love the way how the scrum half just got in there quickly, changed the point of attack, using his runners coming on his shoulder and then hitting it hard was Paul Habib to finish it off.
Troffier converts the try under the post, bringing the score to 17-0 Toreros here in the 17th minute of play. Beavers will reset shortly. Will, what do the Beavers need to do here to impart some of their will?
I think, to be honest, from this kickoff, I understand where they're trying to go maybe deep and push the Toreros back, but I think now you've got to think about, use the wind to your advantage. Maybe hang this one up in the air, get one of your fast guys underneath it, trying to get maybe a tap back, just build some phases. They have built nothing so far, and that's credit to the Toreros, but also from this restart, just have the ability to maybe win it back.
It's a deep kick. It will get to Lou Troffier, who will be looking to counter kick and exit quickly. The ball finds touch. I believe the ball was kicked out behind Troffier's zone 22, so the lineout will be at the point of the ball finding touch here, Will.
Yeah, so in my opinion, a long, deep kick straight to Troffier is probably just not the person you want to find. He's got a cannon of a right foot. Look at the distance he's made. So now, ARU, they have an attacking lineout, but they are all the way back inside their own half. Difficult to kick, so maybe they're going to try and run this. Maybe they can build some phases from here.
Line out to the back pod once more for the Beavers is successful. Nice phase of run here. Neil Vuki on the carry. Advances past the gain line for the Beavers. And a kick here by the Beavers. It looks like it's found a little bit of a space. And it did go out on the full. So the line out will occur for the Toreros back where the ball was kicked, Will.
Vita with the spiral kick, which I was pretty impressed by to begin with. You don't see too many spiral kicks these days, but just showing how difficult it is into that breeze. And unfortunately, that's gone out the full. So a reminder that once you kick that ball outside your 22 and it goes straight out, it comes all the way back in the line out where you kicked it from. So USD now through not a lot. Remember, it was just the exit that they had off the restart. They haven't had to do too much to now have an attacking platform about 35 meters out.
There's a little confusion here at Manchester Field, but it looks like we might be having a substitution here for the Toreros in the forward pack. Josh Butler is eager to get on here. Might be a blood substitution. Looks like the Sir is working through some blood. So yes, it'll be Dylan Joven coming out for the Toreros for a blood substitution.
I'm pretty sure that's blood.
TVX bringing us crystal clear pictures here in Manchester Field, but even those with less than 20/20 vision can clearly see. Joven turned the faucet on, it looks like, with his nose here.
Who would play rugby? Who would play rugby when you say things like that? It's a physical day. There's still plenty to go.
So world-class trainer here, Hamid, will have 10 minutes to work on Dylan Joven here to get the blood to stop, and Joven will be able to come back. But in the meantime, we'll have Josh Butler on for the Toreros. Appear to have been a not straight feed in the lineout. I was busy looking at the blood, but maybe a knock-on.
It was a knock-on. Good job that I was looking for you, Scott. Yeah, yes. It was pretty scrappy lineout, and unfortunately just knocked on in the end from USD. So, are we now going to see another platform? Good solid scrum for the Beavers. Wouldn't mind just seeing the ball try and get into the hands of these wide men. Vola Vola, the number 15, or Tani Thakenbau, the number 14. These
surely
guys
got to be a strength of the Beavers.
I'm going to have a quick look at the replay just to remind Scott what he missed. So line up, pretty scrappy getting away from it. Good competition from the Beavers. And it was just in this breakdown, just coming out. It might have been Josh Calder in the end.
It's always good to have an extra set of eyes and a separate brain when it's me on the mic here. So the Beavers have won the line out. Nice looping play here. A little bit of space here. trying to find someone. Ball's given to the deck by the Beavers and squirted forward. It's a Torero ball. It's a little bit of messy play here on Manchester Field. The ball finds Josh Butler, who offloads, and it's knocked by Sam Carlson. So it will be a Beaver scrum after a little bit of a frantic play here. Series of events here by both sides, Will.
Yeah, but I liked it from the Beavers. That, for me, was the first time they've moved it to the width, and they got some danger men out wide. Malachi Volavola, the 15, looks like a powerful, quick player. He wanted his winger to come back on the inside. You could see when they moved it away from that scrum to the edge, just wanted a slight switch. Look, he's asking him, just come back in. I don't want to go towards the touchline. He does very well to keep the ball alive. But in the end, that just gave the Beavers a bit of sort of energy. And then from that, they get the turnover.
Beaver scrum is successful here, driving the Toreros back. Spun out to the backs here. Here's the danger man once more with a nice offload and a good crunching tackle by the Torero defense. We're gonna have another phase of play here for the Beavers. Appears to have been knocked and collected by the Toreros, who will play with this scrum advantage here. See what they look to do with it. Maybe looking to exit as Troffier collects the ball and is charged down by the Beavers and bounces to Paul Habib fortuitously as a show and go dummy is successful. Drew Young with the carry. Thompson spins back to Josh Butler's running a bit sideways into the defense of the Beavers. Spun out once more in a nice charging defense there. Finds Smithers. Out to Danny Sir on the wing. Some crunching hits out here, Will. And this ball is still in play, still live. Spun out once more. I believe that's Dustin Braun on the carry. A little bit of space here on the right side. The Toreros can find it. Cody going with a nice, strong run. Sir spotted something he doesn't like. It's a penalty against the Beavers for not releasing.
So they're from all the way inside their own half. From the charge down, remember, actually, the pressure that was coming on from the Beavers was good. But then Paul Habib just picks it up, and what a dummy. Dummy the defender, and again, then Toreros on the front foot. Love the way as well that USD have two playmakers, Scott. You've got someone like Troffier at 10, but you've also got Michael Lewis at 15. I know he played a lot of number 10 for the Toreros, particularly last season. Having that has the ability just to move the ball around and then move it to the edge so quickly. Some really good handling on the edge. I'm sure Charlie Purdon would be very happy with that as head coach.
Troffier looking to convert the penalty kick, does so successfully, making it 20-0 Toreros. I believe we'll have a replay up here of that previous series of events leading to the penalty conversion.
There's the charge down that comes. So good work by the Beavers to get that. And then you just want to get on the ball early, and Paul Habib does just that. Get on the front foot. Tomlinson's there. But watch this handling. That's the handling from the first place from Troffier, and then Michael Lewis. That seems really easy, but just to fix defenders like that, there's two playmakers that work together. Good quality play. In the end, the pressure came and the penalty came, and 3 points was after that.
It looks like Jovin's back on, having been cleaned up successfully by Hamid. A little bit of miscommunication here. Jovin's going to come back off to switch his jersey, which looks a little bit more like an ARC jersey now with all that red on it. So Butler will stay on for the Toreros as the reset comes in high. Thank you. The reset comes in high, collected by the Toreros. A nice aerial collection by Brandon Guiducci. Drew Young runs into contact. Instead, Toreros are looking to exit once more. Troffier with a booming high kick, a challenging ball, but collected well by Tuku Tolo for the American River College Beavers. We have an offside call, I believe, coming back for coming way back here. Looks like coming way back for the Beavers here. Be a very good position, Will.
Yeah, maybe this finally now is for American River to get their first chance. I'm talking about maybe a 5-meter line out or something like that. They kick this ball into the corner. Bit of a coach killer, that, in the end, in terms of just being offside.
It's harsh. It's a harsh rule, but it's an important rule. The safety of the game. as we have a Beaver getting tended to here on the sideline by both training staffs. Number 8, Lati Safi, for the Beavers in a little bit of discomfort and frustrated by this injury. He's going to come off for a little bit just to get tended to. But this will be a very dangerous line-out attacking position for the Beavers, trying to bring in their first points of the game. It's about 7 meters probably from the try line here.
Lineouts look good so far for the Beavers. Every time that they've thrown in, whether it's back ball, front ball, they've taken it. So, don't want to have a commentator's curse, but hopefully they set this one up. Use their power, use those big set of lads they've got in that front row. Try and push this over.
Collected by the Beavers. Slight contest by the Toreros here. Maul is inching up just slightly, but appears to have been stalled and is now out. First phase stopped by the Toreros here. High pressure situation. Ball spun back towards the direction of the line out by the Beavers. A nice double tackle by the Toreros. Spun out right with a nice little switch line there. I believe that was Vitave on the carry. Beavers are really looking to make an impression here, get through, but double tackle again by the Toreros, preventing that for now. Vola on the carry for the Beavers, working his way towards the sideline, picked by a big man right there for the Beavers, by a big old Beaver. Toreros are being challenged on their own try line here. Entering three-point stances on either side of the ruck. Try and keep the Beavers out of the try zone here. Spun out wide by the Beavers. Outside center, number 13, fends well and offloads. However, unfortunately, Woody's offload finds the turf. It's going to be Torero ball, likely looking to exit here. Get out of dodge a little bit. Spun out wide to get a little bit more space. Thomasine back to Troffier. Troffier kicks high and out of danger for the Toreros, Will.
Great exit, great defense. Came up with good line speed. ARU just felt that they couldn't pick and go around the ruck. They decided to move it out, maybe test themselves, or should I say test the Toreros defense out wide. When you have a line speed team or defense that Toreros have, if you can shut that play down within 2 passes, it makes it very difficult for then the attack to get some sort of front foot ball. That's exactly what the Toreros did. Just watch here. It's 2 passes out the back, but they're straight on them, straight away. Then they've got to make a decision. Do they tap and carry, or tuck and carry, I should say? And in the end, they don't get away with it.
Kay Caulfield with a nice spurting run out into the field. Offloads from the deck out to Caleb Thomasine, finds the turf. We got scrumming in here. Toreros pick. Lurch forward. Thomasine spins out. Looking at some space there on the right sideline. Thomasine flips out to Kay Caulfield for another carry. Brennan Guiducci out to Troffier. Skips out to Jackson Short. Back inside to Danny Sir. However, that was knocked. An unfortunate break for the Toreros, as if looks like that could have been 5 points, Will.
I tell you what, it was a monster hit on that edge by the number 11. Tucatolo. As we have another look. So, again, I'm liking the way Tomlinson just gets in there. He challenges people around the ruck, but then gets the ball out quick. Good handling. I just wondered whether just use the hands. Instead of the skip ball, just use the hands. There from Troffier. Has had a very good game. Didn't maybe need to do that miss pass. And in the end, it was read well by the Beavers winger.
Saw a lot of good urgency there by the Toreros, hustling to their marks, finding their spot. Try and beat the Beavers to where they want to be on the field. The Sir will press the pause button on this scrum right here to reset, just making sure that the front row is playing in a safe manner. A lot of energy here in this field right now, Will.
It's got to be a key contest, because you think about it, as we're coming towards the last 10 minutes of this first half, Beavers cannot afford to let in another try, really. They're going to stay in this game.
A lot of movement there in that scrum by the Toreros. And it appears to have been jackled. Is there a call by the Sir coming? Yes! Successful turnover by the Toreros. Looks like they're quick tapping here. Looking to play through.
Penalty try.
A penalty try called. Indeed. So it'll be, I believe that's an automatic 7 points for the Toreros there. I believe the Beavers were not back 10 from that quick tap. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but quite the overturn of events for the Toreros' favor.
Well, there you go. Certainly the Toreros bench were loving it. And I think the referee in the end just decided enough's enough. Stopped an absolute try from happening. That's why those penalty tries can be awarded by the referee. And I just said, if they want to stay in this game, Beavers, they gotta just not let one more in before the half. And that was all a little bit too easy. Good scrum coming through as well. Great scrum.
Great scrum by the Toreros to turn it, press them back into their own, towards their own touchline, which don't want to find yourself in a little bit of a panic moment. Looks like they came out and a quick jackal was made by the Toreros, and the rest was history. Good urgency by the Toreros. The reset from the Beavers come up here. It's a high, short kick to left side this time. Collected by Dylan Joven, who's not cleaned up. Resets for the Toreros. That's Cody going there, latched on by Drew Young. Nice seal on that ruck to secure things. Troffier with a low drive kick. Finds a little pocket of space here for the Toreros. Beavers will be looking to regather themselves here. Good tackle by Guiducci in the open field to prevent him doing so. Nice shedding run here by the winger. Cutting back inside now to the Beavers. Good pressure here in the Toreros inside the 22. Offload over the top. The Toreros are finding themselves in a danger zone here. Spun out wide by the Beavers. Number 6 with the cutback inside, Tyler Romero. Vita Vea scrambling around looking for an option, finds the turf. Beavers are reset, recycled here. Spun out. Offload intercepted by Paul Habib for the Toreros. The ruck needs to be formed. The ball squirts out of the ruck. Recollected by the Beavers here. Easy come, easy go. Beavers pick and go outside here. Cleared out well. Tackler must roll. Another pick and go, wide pick and go. Beavers fight for another phase of play. Spun out to the flanker. Chop tackled there. Reset back around. Romero again spinning around looking for an option. Spun back once more for another phase. Drew Young in the backfield can't make the tackle. Jackal attempt by Kate Caulfield is not successful. Call for a penalty for not releasing by the Sur.
Yeah, I thought Caulfield he looked like it was a great poach, but a reminder that once you've tackled the player, you've got to show a clear release before going on the ball. So as we have another look, Vita Vea, the number 10, takes it in. Caulfield, oh, I don't know. I think also the referee did. I saw him do a roll away thing as well. So maybe that's what went against him. Hold on a minute. As much as I was talking, what was going on there? No, the ball has gone out into touch.
Believe
it has gone.
Yes, the ball did find touch. Perhaps unfortunately for the Beavers, it looked like they could have got a try off that. So
I think actually this is cut. I think actually Torero managed to keep this in play. And then did it come off a Torero hand? Anyway, regardless, the Beavers have got a line out. 5 meters out.
Another good line out by the Beavers to the back pod and looped around to the loose head prop. Big Vili Foe. Toreros are now in a dangerous position once more. Quick hands out to the wing. Beavers are looking to score their first points of the game, and they do. Try Beavers. I believe that was Tukatolo. Get a double check on that. But the Beavers do find corner of the try zone for their first points of the game here, Will.
Yeah, they just deserve a try as well. I think what's been impressive with the Beavers is when they've had open, unstructured play. When they've had the ability where it's just been a bit loose, that's where their players come alive. And Mentioned enough times in Vola Vola, the fullback, he's been dangerous, and they've got these dangerous runners. Once it slows down, though, that's when USD come alive in their line split defense. So in the end, staying with it, the Beavers, and they get that first try. And hopefully that, for the sake of the game, Scott, as much as you won't say it, maybe just can slightly even things up heading in towards the halftime break.
Yes, and that was the try by Vola Vola. Rewarded on his wing there. Great effort by the Beavers after a lot of pressure and an unfortunate penalty call against Kay Caulfield. Conversion shades outside of the post, so the flags stay down. The score stays 27-5 for the Toreros. We'll see their first reset here, Will, with the wind.
Here we go, having another look.
Good hands out there.
Great hands in the end. And it's actually the big number 2, Juju Vola Vola. That manages to stay in play, but lovely hands to keep that going and keep that ball alive. And as I say, I think for the Beavers, they can just keep the ball quick and alive, try and catch the Toreros defense off guard. Don't let them get set. Don't let this structured play come into this game as much as possible, because that is where Toreros are best. Unstructured is where the Beavers are looking good.
Chauffer with a high reset. Looks like the wind has possibly died down a bit here in Manchester Field, but collected by the Beavers. They will start playing through their sequence here. Looks like they will be playing through the hands. Double, triple tackle by the Toreros there, preventing the runner from gaining any more meters. Spun back out to the right. Third phase, once more to the right. Beavers with a nice offload out to the wing, however, bounced, and this will be a Toreros scrum advantage after that knock. Thomasine will spin the ball out the right-hand side. I believe that's Guiducci breaking the gain line. Thomasine 1-1. Thomasine third time out to Michael Lewis, who's joined up in the attack. Dodges the first attacker with a strong counterattack. Possibly poached there, but no. Given back to Drew Young. Looks to have lost the ball and knocked the ball into contact. So it will be a Beaver scrum around their 10-meter line.
Toreros trying to put that nail in the coffin of this first half, get another score. Again, good play around the ruck. Tomlinson being the focal point of that. Michael Lewis getting involved from fullback, just coming on those shoulder balls, trying to inject the tempo into their attack. But in the end, pretty good tackling, good repelling from the Beavers.
Yeah, you can see Drew Young just a bit too high in that contact, possibly will lead to that knock on.
A little bit. You've got to be careful as well that you don't come in latched as two players. That's not allowed anymore. So you've got to be careful that Toreros, yep, coming in numbers, but don't also do anything illegally.
Speaking of, that is a penalty, a scrum penalty awarded to the Toreros. Puts the Beavers under a lot of pressure right here. So close to their own try zone. Center of the field. See what the Toreros look to do here. We got some heavy men in the middle of the field here looking to make possibly a quick tap in option. Indeed, quick tap option there. Tori Kapust bores his way towards the Beaver try zone. Cody Going appears to have dove in over for its try for the Toreros. 5 points here towards the end of the first half. Cody Going is fired up. Don't tell him the scoreline.
Gotta love that when some of the big men get their try. They don't get too many the front row, but when it happens, they're very excited. And so they should be. Another really good score. Straight up power from the Toreros. Unfortunately, this time the Beavers were unable to repel. Good first carry. Coming in numbers as well, making sure that he's not isolated. I say you don't want to latch too early. That's better. If you latch too early and you get with the player and then hits the contact, that might be penalized. But in the end, that was just good, solid platform play. And a try for the Toreros.
Trotfield's conversion is true. Brings the score to 34-5. Brings us past our 40-minute mark, but a reminder that the official time is kept on the field by the SIR, not necessarily within the scorebug here. So it looks like we're going to have one more phase of play, at least one more phase of play here. Might have had some stoppage earlier for that blood sub. So we will see one more Beavers reset here in the first half.
And maybe this might be, as the buzzer does sound, maybe can they just consider getting some more points on the board? Really, this restart, try and hang it up, try and make it competitive and try and win it back.
Beaver reset, another spiraling kick, collected by Thomason. Given out to Lutroff. Boots it out and finds touch.
That is a monster kick, and if that bounced,
you know what?
That would be a 50-22.
Will, I'm sorry, I think that was Cade Caulfield. I don't think that was Lutroff at all. That was Cade Caulfield.
The thud did sound like a forward who just thought, I'm going to just swing my leg at this.
I think that's what happened. I'm at a loss for words.
And you know what? Knowing a little bit about Cade Caulfield, he will be telling everyone after this game that 50-22 as well.
He's an on-field maverick. And not only did he kick, he found himself a 50-22. It's a Toreros uncontested line out here.
Free kick.
There's a free kick awarded.
Full arm or short arm penalty awarded to American River.
Vita Vea collects for the Toreros. Sir explains his call to the Toreros captain.
Looks like Dustin Braun was.
It'll be Beaver free kick here.
When you attempt to maul, your two lifters cannot be in front of the person with the ball. Small technical error there. However, this will see ARC.
Beavers are setting something up here. Looks like they'll run some kind of attack here from deep in their own territory here. Well, quick tap. Big old fella. Big on big. Toys Kapus. His rump hits the turf. And a penalty awarded to the Beavers. So a little momentum here for the Beavers towards the end of this first half.
Faliga, the momentum came from the number 3. Oh, I would have absolute no joy trying to tackle the big number 3 for the American River. Get the ball into his hands a bit more. So clearly the Beavers have just thought it doesn't matter about the clock. They want to try and put one in. And if we take another look on this, even though they're down the scoreboard, they're still fired up. And you just think maybe if they can get a score before the end of the half, it is a win, it is an advantage, could potentially come back into this game.
AB Faliga delivering the boom. That was heavy on heavy there. Big seismic clap we can still feel here. Play continues here in Manchester Field. Little up and under kick. Thomasin will collect. Finds a little bit of contact there. Ball squirts back to Trophier, who will drive the ball into touch. And that will be our half here in Manchester Field in this playoff game. Toreros 34, American River College 5.
Good first half for the Toreros in this playoff game. Certainly Charlie Perner will be happy with most of what he's seen, but there is still the fire, there's still that physicality within the American River Beavers. And I'm sure in the second half, they will look to try and close that scoreline down.
We'll be back in 10.
All the American River fans that made the trip down from Northern California, please give them a round of applause. We really appreciate it. Also, one more shameless plug. We are selling shirts, jerseys, and raffling off a signed San Diego Legion jersey here at midfield, and winner will be announced at the end of the match. Come grab your tickets and support the boys.
Begins here, Truffier is reset. Finds the Beavers. That is flanker Tyler Romero collecting the kick here with a reset by scrum half here. So we'll go entering our third phase of play for the Beavers. Spun out wide, loop back. Clever little tuck there. Beavers looking to exit their own territory. Some nice fighting tackles here. Ball dropped and regathered strategically there for another phase. Spun out wide. Double tackle there leads to a knock on. It will be Toreros scrum. We've re-entered some action here, Will.
We have, and a great 40 minutes to come up, and I think for the Toreros, it's an easy thing just to let their foot off the gas. When you have that kind of lead, 34 points to 5, do you get comfortable? Do you stop all the good things that you were doing before? The line speed, the clinical around the breakdown, the speed of ball. And in the first minute, you could see that line speed still very much there. Hey, look, the Beavers have got to chase the game. So if Torero can just keep the pressure on, keep the foot on the throat, as they now have this scrum opportunity.
Looks like Mickey O'Leary is now in for the Toreros at scrum half. Spins it out to Habib, who loops it and pops it up for Cade Caulfield, fresh off his 50-22, riding high. Toreros are now attacking a penalty given from coming from the side that hit on the scrum half. Welcome to the game, Mickey O'Leary. Toreros will now have a penalty. They're going to kick for points here, Will.
Yeah, interesting just to get points straight away into the second half. Love that little scrum move. Was it Chase Basson who just came through the middle, the number 11 for Torero? That would have been a Charlie Purdon special, no doubt about it. But yeah, just keep accumulating, keep the scoreboard ticking, keep it as far away as possible so that the Beavers have to chase this game as much as possible.
Just a reminder that Toreros are now attacking against the wind, into the wind. See how that impacts the kicking and attacking game here for both sides. As Troffier's penalty conversion is true. Brings us to 37-5. As the gap widens for the Beavers.
A fantastic right foot this young man has. I don't think he hasn't missed a kick yet. Plenty of points in his favour, and also his ability in that first half. He used the wind really well and found his team, or pushed his team, the Toreros, up the field. Something which the Beavers will have to do. They have to get the territory, play it down in the right part of the field so that they can mount the attack. As I'm sure they'll go deep off this restart.
Beavers reset is indeed deep. All the way back to Troffier, collects and quickly looks to exit. His right boot finds the crowd. A nice catch by a young fan.
Great kick, great kick. Into the slight breeze and already finds its way up towards the half. So yeah, Troffier's really impressed me with his boot, his kicking game.
And that's the danger with kicking deep there. It looks like they've strategically placed Troffier to be right where they want to kick it. So that he can just quickly, no pass needed, just a recycle, just bang, right back where he came from. Line out throw is up, gathered correctly by the Beavers. Good fighting tackle there. Beavers spin it out and will exit. Not much of a pocket, but a kick is successful. Seeking that 50-22 perhaps for the Beavers. I believe he has successfully done so. That's Vita Vea finding some nice space. Giving the Beavers an excellent attacking platform here, Will.
Excellent kick by the number 10 for American River. Finding that space. I think Toreros would be disappointed. A very well-structured team not to have their winger back there. I think that might have been Jackson Short's wing on that right side.
Beaver line out again, successful into a maul. Driven back now. Looks like they'll recycle the ball here for a phase of play. The ball is bobbled, but gathered. Bobbled once more again. Habib brings the man down, and it's a penalty for offsides against the Toreros, who are forced now to retreat 10 meters.
Done them for hands in the ruck. Bit sloppy there from USD, as now the Beavers just have another chance. It's a good kick. Probably about 10 meters out still, but This is exactly how they want to look. They've got to put the first half behind them now and almost disregard the scoreline. They've done the first part. They're in the right area of the field. It's now this execution. I've got to say, I think Juju Volavola has had an excellent game throwing into the line. I remember he got that try as well in the first half. So the number 2 for the Beavers, crucial to the set piece.
Volavola again, it's true. Back pod maul for the Beavers. Gains a couple meters, but I think he might have lost the ball there. No. Driving towards the post for the Beavers. About a meter out now. Very, very dangerous platform. Beavers attempting to reach over. Dylan Alexander there dancing around, looking for a little bit of space to try to dive through. Ball spun out. Converging tackle there by the Toreros, trying to keep the men out of their own try zone. Neo Vuki trying to find his way in. Beaver attack continues to build here. Lots of space here. Tackle comes up by Habib. However, is he held up? Is he short? He's short, I believe. Good action around the post here. Sir blows his whistle. We will be going back perhaps to a penalty. Indeed we will, so it'll be another platform for the Beavers here. Perhaps looking to quick tap. Quick tap is here. Spun out by Dylan Alexander. Inside center is held up. Pop back, legally so, but this offload finds the turf. Bassan try to kick it through. Gathered by the Beavers. Dylan Alexander dancing in the backfield here. Looking for a little bit of space, tackled. Looks like a pick will come up. Big Faliga double tackle by the Toreros. More phases of play here for the Beavers. Trying to find some daylight. Spun out to the wing, offloaded beautifully.
Skip pass, they have numbers wide. Can't quite get the offload. Desperate defense by Danny Sir.
Spun back once more. It's got to be at least double-digit phases here. An unintentional knock in the tackle. Looks like the Sir has called it as a knock on. I believe that was on Sam Carlson. Trying to make a tackle, knock the ball on. Certainly not intentional, so no penalty, no card. But a lot of action there, Will.
A lot of action, a lot of phases. And that defense really holding firm for the Toreros, pushing them all the way back from their own try line to the 22. Oh, that's a potential deliberate lock on as well. Maybe a bit lucky, USD, with that. But they repel them all the way back. Some big shots going in. And they're, I mean, ultimately the Beavers are looking around, not knowing where to go, not knowing where the space is. So good defense. But Toreros still find themselves just inside their 22.
Alexander feeds the ball into the scrum, finds his way back and is spun wide out to the fullback, Volavola. Strong tackle made, ball squirts back out of the ruck, handed off back to Dylan Alexander. Chop tackle by O'Leary. Another hard hit by the Toreros. Big forward out in the wing. Habib is forced to retreat. Looks like the Beavers have numbers here, and they found the try zone. Held up by the Toreros in the try zone. A nice desperate piece of defense there. Now a little bit of a conference here in the far assistant referee. Will we have a change of play? No, it is a
goal line dropout.
Goal line drop for held up call.
Wow.
Very difficult to do out there in open field.
Wow, I gotta say, I thought for a moment this had to be a try. Oh, it's just the last pass, or not given that last pass. Beavers had a 2-on-1. You've got to pass that ball. They were walking in. I was thinking, like, surely he's dummied and then he's over the try line. But no, great defense. I think on that edge it might have been Daniel Sir and Jackson Short. Now this goal line dropout.
Troffier's goal line dropper looks like he's going to find some space out near the 10-meter line. Collected by Vita Vea. Makes his first man miss. Little bit of space there. Very nice return by Vita Vea. However, it appears that the offload did not go forward. Okay, playing on. Tackle made by the Toreros. Nice clean out by the Beavers. Dylan Alexander dances around. We have another whistle here for an injured player. It's an injured Beaver down the field, and the play was going near that injured Beaver, so the sir, out of a precaution, has called the play dead, as the trainers will tend to this injured Beaver.
Leading off the bottom half of the third for your Toreros.
Hoping that this player is okay, as it's still very ferocious out there. And say the Beavers at the moment just struggling with any kind of structure. I've mentioned already how they are good off unstructured play, so when the ball is loose, that is when they come alive. However, Torero's defense is staying firm, it's staying connected, and it's pushing them back. And it's almost like the 9. You could tell Dylan Alexander for the Beavers is just not knowing where to go, whether to go left, whether to go right. He's just seeing those blue and white jerseys all around him. As we take a look now here, potentially where the injury has come from.
A little bit of discomfort after that offload, and a great run back also. A great return off that goal line drop. Stayed, unfortunately, down on the turf since it wasn't really a crunching hit. We've seen a lot of hard hits today. That wasn't the case. But sometimes those non-contact injuries or awkward injuries be the scariest. A small medical team has now gathered around this injured Beaver.
Just been told by one of the officials that they're actually just concerned because he's holding his neck. So all precautionary measures will be taken here on Manchester Field to make sure that it doesn't even matter whether it's deemed at the moment, whether it's serious or not, every precaution will be taken. And it's good to see that there are plenty of staff around him, hoping that this young man is okay. He seems to be moving around a bit. But at the same time, I'm sure we will have a bit more of a longer period of stoppage, Scott, just to make sure this is all going to be okay.
Absolutely. Maybe it's a good opportunity to talk a little bit about what this game means as a playoff contest between American River College and the University of San Diego. The winner will go up to Bellingham, Washington, beautiful Bellingham, Washington, take on the Vikings, Western Washington University. Continuing in this playoff bracket, this very, very simple and straightforward and clear playoff bracket, as the injured Beaver has now found his feet. Some applause from the fans here at Manchester Field in relief. Always a good thing to have that be the case, to see that. So Vita Vea escorted off the field here by trainers and helpers.
He's had a good second half, the number 10. Nearly darted over the line himself earlier, had a great 50-22, has injected some pace, so really hoping that he's okay. He's definitely one of their top playmakers in this Beaver side. And you mentioned the Vikings there, Scott. If I remember rightly, there was a game last year that the Vikings visited here at Manchester Field. So that could be interesting in heading back up to Washington State. Thoughts on that, or is it too early to say?
It's always a great squad. Paul Horn's boys, he always gets them right, gets them going. It's always a great contest. I think that match that you're referring to, well, might have been 2 years ago.
God.
Yeah, time flies.
Time flies.
I know, we're a couple of old dogs here in the booth. Last year, the Toreros and the Vikings found themselves in a contest up in Moraga, home of the St. Mary's Gales, for a great match, which ultimately the difference was a clearance kick that found the back of a post. The post of the Vikings bounced back into field of play, fallen on by the Toreros to That was really the separation. It was one of the best college rugby games I've ever seen. As the reset is in, Beavers win the scrum. Spun out wide. Good tackle by Danny Sir there. Recycled ball there by Dylan Alexander. Big Frank Lealua substitution into the game with his first carry.
Great hands.
Great hands there. Some space here for the Beavers. Testing the defense of the Toreros. I believe they're down for a try here, Will. Indeed they are. Off that reset after a long break. Sometimes it's hard to get back into the swing of things, but Tukutolo able to dot it down in the corner.
Lovely, lovely hands. Called it as I saw it. And I think it was one of the big men as well who found himself in the midfield but had a lovely catch and pass. Caught it early, got it away. And actually, what was it, about a few minutes before, they didn't throw the pass and they carried it and they didn't get over the try line, and this time they do. So great hands, in and out. Oh, superb work. I think that's from the number 6 there in Toyo Romero. Superb score for the Beavers, and deserved as well. They've had all this time camped inside the Toreros 22, and it needed to be something a little bit special to get over the line. Toreros, knowing the standard that they have, albeit feel disappointed, but that's just good rugby, good picking off. Just shows you that ultimately the ball works better sometimes than the player.
Conversion flags stay down. The score rule will remain 37-10 Toreros. There's another Beaver on the field getting tended to. I think this might just be a cramp, hopefully. I see that trainer stretch there, doing a hamstring stretch.
I think that there's going to be a substitution come on. But what I mean about the ability of the ball moves a lot faster than the player. And sometimes just out there, if anyone's watching or listening, the movement of the ball, you can move it into space rather than try and run yourself into that space. Can a lot of the time prove to be a much better tactic, as we now have a fireman's carry to bring him off the field.
Slightly modified fireman's carry, but effective nonetheless. It's halfway between a fireman's carry and the third act of Dirty Dancing.
Hopefully he's okay. Maybe it might be more than
Perhaps
a bit of
not
cramp.
I will keep my medical degree on the shelf. But I believe that's going to be Jonathan Nawasa coming into the game for the Beavers here in the second half. As a try scored is a good thing and an injury is a bad thing. Troffier's reset nice and high, hanging up. Aerial contest. Finds the turf here. Beavers retain possession. Spun out to Hooker, spun again. Nice fend off here and a penalty for a high tackle, insult to injury. For Tori Kapost. Beavers penalty here. Looks like Vola Vola will take kicking duties as well. Kick unfortunately does not find touch as Lou Troffier will look to counterattack. Finds some space on the wing here. His nudging kick finds the Beaver defender and then finds touch. So possibly strategic, but it will be the Toreros line out about their 10-meter line of the Beavers.
Take a moment just to applaud the fact that Juju Vola is not only throwing the ball into the lineup, but he's also going to be the guy that's doing the kicking.
Very talented young player. Sam Carlson receives the line out. Loop back to Drew Young. Nice wide arcing run, building up some momentum. About the middle of the field here, and it's a successful poach by the Beavers. Well done there by the Beavers to win possession back.
Yeah, Trey Robertson getting himself in there as the charging run came round the corner from Drew Young, and that is a kick into touch which hasn't gained many meters, but still the Beavers will have the ball back.
Caleb Smithy onto the field for the Beavers. Pierce for Tukutolo, whose day is done. Line out is successfully won by the Beavers. Spun out to the Centers here in the wing. The offload unfortunately appears to have gone forward. It was knocked forward and passed forward, so will be scrummed down for the Toreros here. Unfortunate break for the Beavers.
That offload being probably more than a 50-50. Wasn't needed. Try and see the man and then give the offload. In the end, that was kind of a throw it to anyone and hope.
Yeah, it was a hope offload.
So Toreros now, they haven't had the ball at all in the Beavers half. And this is the first chance in a while as they set up here with Chase Basson sitting in behind Trofia. So here we go. What have they got up their sleeve?
O'Leary's feeds and spins out to Habib. Habib leaves the ball up, looks for Chase Basson with a nice carry. Past the gain line there. Out to Josh Butler. Into contact, never fair to contact, but loses the ball, and it looks like we've got a streaking run here. Appears to be Trey Robinson, number 12 for the Beavers, into the Toreros territory. Bit hard to see what happened, but Trey came out with the ball and just sprung free. Spun out by the Beavers, nice tackle by Drew Young and others. Recycles, reloads here. Big Frank, number 16, chopped down. Spun out once more. And pass finds the turf, possibly jackled by Danny Sir, seeking for it, and has found the ball, but was done illegally, so it'll be a penalty to the Beavers there for the illegal jackal against Danny Sir.
It was a great poach from Trey Robertson again. For one moment, I thought he was going to go all the way, but tackled by the Toreros. And you just thought when they had the bit of front foot ball, just keep going. Just get the ball away from the breakdown Beavers. I stress, like when they've looked their best is when they've had the pace on the ball and they've caught the Toreros off guard. So look, they still have the ball. They still have this possession as they move up with the penalty. Another 20 meters or so into the Toreros half.
Smithy's kick found touch nicely. Beavers lineout probably has been the strength of their game. Looks like we have a new thrower here, though. We'll have Chubbs Waleta throwing the ball into the lineout. Unfortunate break for the Beavers. One back by Sam Carlson, however, knocked by Sam Carlson, so it will be a scrum down to the Beavers. Lineout throw was a bit of a line drive, a little bit of miscommunication, I think, in the forward pack.
Maybe with the substitutions that have come on and just not quite on the same wavelength. And again, I am just going to mention the fact that Juju Volavola, that the starting hooker for the Beavers, who was really impressive, it has been impressive all game. I don't think I've seen too many times when a hooker then moves to number 10, but he has moved to number 10 for American River. It's hell of a talent. Scrumming, line out, kicking, and now playmaking. It's got it all.
5 stars. Beaver scrum is fed in. One successfully. Spun out for the attack. Ball is popped up high in the air and collected by Jackson Short. The turnover is won and dipped out by O'Leary out to the wing for the Toreros. Nudge forward towards that try zone, into the try zone. Will be dotted down by the Beavers. A bit of excitement there. It looks like it will be coming back for a drop goal. Excuse me, a drop kick from the goal line. I don't see who had the ball for the Toreros on that wing, but it looks like he saw a little bit of space and the ball just didn't quite bounce the way that it needed it to for himself to gather it.
It was a good bit of an opportunist play by Jackson Short, because actually it was a pretty good move that Beavers had from the scrum, but as it just popped up in the air, he was there to take it. So as the Beavers kick it out, Toreros will have it back.
Goal line drop is collected by Trotfier, passed over to Josh Butler, bumps his man. O'Leary spins it out to Dustin Braun. Sir almost blew the whistle, decided against it. Josh Butler runs out. Nice punishing run again, attempted to jackal once more by the Beavers, but Toreros clear the ruck and are now penalized, interestingly.
I think he was calling for a no wrap in the tackle, just a shoulder charge, as we have maybe another look here on on the replay. Secondary tackler coming in and not wrapping. So that's why the penalty is to the Toreros, as they now finally get themselves inside the Beavers 22. And a reminder that only 3 points the Toreros have scored in this second half. This will be one they will look to try and build something off.
Hooker Drew Young's lineout throw is successful. A little bit of a roll in this maul for the Toreros. The forwards join in, looking to punch their man over the goal line, the try line. Ball carrier finds turf, I think. I believe that's a Habib out in the back of the maul with the ball as it's spun out to Troffier with a cross kick. Is it on? Basson's under it. Caught by Basson, short of the try zone, but then gathered by Michael Smithy Lewis for the try. Clever play there, Will.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And as a former number 10 myself, anything of a cross kick or a kick to score is worthy of a try. What a brilliant bit of heads-up rugby from Troffier, who's been brilliant today. Really impressed by the young man, and in particular that right foot of his. Relieving pressure, scoring points, and then assisting tries. And there you go for the Toreros, who really hadn't had much ball, hadn't had much possession in this second half. They strike, and that has to be, even though there is 18 minutes left, but you've got to say probably the nail in this coffin in this playoff game. Good try. Can Troffier now keep his 100% record off the tee?
Troffier's conversion is up. Shades outside of that post, so no perfect day for Troffier, unfortunately. Score will remain 42-10, Toreros. Number of substitutions have been made. This reset from the Beavers will be coming in shortly. Caleb Smithley's reset, sent out, collected by Sam Carlson well. Tries to fend that first tackler, but unable to do so. Spun out to Drew Young with a nice latch drive, gaining a couple meters here. Spun back to Troffier, who spins it out to Smithy. Spun out to Gavin Saville, and here's Von Fouts on the wing for his first touch of the match. Gang of Beaver tacklers brings him down very close to this touchline. Spun out to Josh Butler. A little bit of extracurriculars here, but Josh Butler springs free. He's got one man to beat on the fullback, and he does. Josh Butler will bring this ball to the post for a very impressive Torero try here, Will.
What a lovely try that is. And it all came from looking like they were doing an exit, a kick. And just changed the picture brilliantly. It was that man number 10, Troffier, actually was the guy who pulled the trigger. And in the end, worked it all the way down the field, finished off by the Toreros. There's a little bit of afters that was going on there as well. Michael Lewis was involved. I don't know if you managed to catch it on our audio. Apologies if you heard any bad language.
It's a family broadcast. It's a family broadcast. You know, we try not to have that here, but Troffier with much easier conversion. Flags go up, bringing the score 49-10 Toreros.
Really classy play. Just to have that option, just to show it as an exit, as a kick, and then everyone was on the same wavelength with the back line for the Toreros. Beavers absolutely not expecting it, and that was the initial break down the edge, and they just stayed on top. Really good play. Another thing that I'm sure Charlie Pern and his coaching team, Dan Pryor, my former teammate, just having a look there at the replay. That's something, I tell you what, DP back in his day had a very good outside break and fend for a back rower, so he'd be pleased to see the Toreros finish off there, the assistant coach for USD.
Reset finds the turf, but is eventually gathered by Jackson Short. Possibly lost then by the Toreros. It is. Now Beaver ball. Spun out and offloaded. Fan favorite Kaz Ashley with the tackle there. Spun out by Alexander, back to the left side. Ball finds the turf. Found by the Toreros. A little bit of rodeo play here. Carlson's tackled in open field. Toreros trying to clean this ball up. Possibly exit here. Pick and go by Drew Young. Troffier's back in the pocket. Ball goes to Troffier. Exit kick is made.
Give us your best energy for a chance to win a free shirt. The lighter you are, the more likely you'll get some swag. So let's hear it.
Just under the 15-minute mark, just having a look to see if there's any more substitutes who actually can physically come on the field, Scott, and I think they've all been used from both sides, other than this one here, on cue.
Tanner Barnes finding his way onto the pitch. Sprightly young lad, very excited to be here.
Good one then.
The Beaver throw, unfortunately, finds its way back into touch. I believe it was off the Toreros. So it will be an unlikely gain of about 7 meters for the Beavers. We'll do it again.
Nothing to lose now. Pride's on the line for the Beavers, as they look like they're putting all their forwards into, or maybe not, so a little bit of a shorter line out. Got to try something new, got to try something different if they're going to want to get back on the scoreboard.
Volavolic's directing its back line here. Lifter comes up, must come down, stay down. Ball goes over, unfortunately, and the throw is to the turf, but a free kick awarded to the Beavers. Very close to the Toreros try line. Spun out wide to Frank. Fends off his man, sheds his man. Falls forward into the try zone for the Beavers, 5 points.
You ain't stopping that. You are not stopping that far out. Big Frank gets over, and the Beavers have their third try of the game. So, as much as this match is probably all said and done, it's good to see the Beavers still throw everything at it. Look at this. This is just a forward that's bigger than the other forward and has more momentum. Simple as that. There's no other way of saying that's straight science there, Scott. That's not rugby. That's just momentum physics.
It is a game of physics after all. Smithy's conversion will not find its mark. The score will remain 49-15 Toreros. Just about 11 minutes to go, at least according to our unofficial score bug.
Probably worth a mention for this American River team, and you were explaining more to me earlier today, Scott, how it's a pretty young program overall, and something which, albeit today, doesn't look like it's going to go their way, but great to see talented players on the field, both sides, but this Beavers team has showed enough to impress me, certainly with some of their physicality, their counter-attack play, and overall skill.
And it's a community college, and of course, I mean, no disrespect by that, but just a bit harder to build up things sometimes for a community college as opposed to a four-year college and university. So all the more credit to this American River College team that came all the way down, also traveled down from Sacramento as the ball is ditched off to Von Fouts on the left wing here near the touchline. Stays into the field of play skillfully for a latch carry there. O'Leary's looking for this ball. It's a messy ball at the bottom of the ruck. Found by Tyler Shelley. Driving his way closer now to the Beaver try zone. Brandon Guiducci bumps off a man. trying to find his way in. Once more, here's Kaz Aslay. Fan favorite finds the try zone under the post for the Toreros.
Almost felt like deja vu, but the other way round. The Toreros this time showing their physics, just being a little bit stronger.
Very simple rugby there, Will.
Good, simple rugby, but done deliberately. Coming in numbers. No one there just off on their own terms. Again, it's something that is so well taught by Charlie Purden, head coach. I know I've mentioned him numerous times, but you can just tell the level of organised ability, both sides of the ball. So although it looks simple, it was effective and it was deliberate.
Trophy's conversion makes it 56-15 Toreros. About 8 minutes to go here.
So just having a look, just organised attack. In the end, good work. Just to catch also that the Beavers were slightly offside there. So good quick ball. And in the end, the big man getting over underneath the sticks. But before that was coming in phases, it was coming in waves. And was really effective. Good work by Toreros as they continue to add to their scoreline today.
So new kick. 21 junior. The reset there, well done, well taken by Mickey O'Leary. However, penalty for obstruction called against O'Leary, so it'll be a Beaver penalty here. Good attacking position as well. The jack of all trades, Volavalo, gives it out. Spun out back again to the right. Big Chubbs Poleta punishing carry. Spun out again for another face of the Beavers. They need clearance, they get clearance. Once more for the Beavers here. Volavalo with his offload. Fortunately finds the turf, but collected. Tegar Montes. Attack is coming back again this way for the Beavers. Pulled back behind the line here, as it usually done for a poaching strategy, not that time. Strong run there. Contested pass here, I believe it was backwards. So a nice double tackle there by Vaughn. Once and again. A few phases of play here. Good tackle by O'Leary. Continuing the tackle. A good pop from the deck for the Beavers. Ooh, that's Big Frank with the nice hands. Bit of a dashing run here by the Beavers. Finding their way towards the try zone. With a roll, is he in? He is. Try Beavers. A little bit of frantic rugby there, Will, but effective nonetheless.
But it goes to what I've been saying, is that once there's unstructured play and they get in behind a team, that offload game comes alive. And we talk about Frank Luilia. Apologies, I probably said that very wrong, but he's been brilliant since he's come on. Number 16 for American River. He's been at the heart of all the good plays. Getting that try earlier for American River, getting that offload away as well. And once they're in behind, you could see the excitement light up. Players are there in support. Try scored.
Caleb Smithy's conversion is good.
Number 27, Carly.
Bring the score 56-22.
One thing I'd say about the Torero defense is no one is shying away from trying to put a shot on. They are, every single one of these light blue and white shirts are throwing their bodies on the line, but it was the Beavers who just managed to get a little bit in behind on the front foot, and then the offloading game as well to get that try. Good work from American River.
Trophy's reset is high and deep. Collected well by the Beavers, number 5, and spun out twice. Volavalo on the carry. Tackled back, but offloaded. Big Frank with another nice little pass there. It's the Beavers have fought their way back to midfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, this one is not over. American River eager for more points here.
Beavers attack again once more towards the middle of the play, but beats the Jackal attempt. Another nice offload, continuing the field of play here. Spun down to the turf. Counter ruck attempt unsuccessful for the Toreros. Triple quad skip pass here, unfortunately for them. Finds Paul Habib, tries a deep pass of himself, that also finds the turf. Von Fouts on the wing is tackled. Counter ruck is on, but spun out by Habib. Dennis White into the game for the Toreros, finds his first carry. O'Leary spins it out to Guiducci. O'Leary once more, deep skip out to Troffier. Over the top to Sam Carlson.
Cut ball out to Sam Carlson.
Short little pass onto the wing for Jackson Short. Josh Butler with his carry here. Drawing in all sorts of Beaver defenders. Brought down for O'Leary, goes back again to the right, out to Smithers. To Sam Carlson once more, out to Jackson Short on the wing. Eating up some meters here for the Toreros, drawing ever closer to the Beavers try zone. Another short game for the Toreros here as they're now looking for just a little bit of daylight. Dennis White once more. Leg picked up in that tackle. O'Leary spins it out. Guiducci draws in some defense of himself. A little bit of a helicopter tackle there. Troffier spins out to Habib. Skipped out to Von Fouts, cuts back in. Finds himself on the turf. O'Leary over the forwards. A lot of counter ruck pressure here from the Beavers. Troffier takes it himself, offloads it. Gavin Seville finds the try zone for the Toreros. Substitute number 23, Gavin Seville, make his impact known in this game.
It was only going to be a matter of who was going to get over the line. But loved the patience, loved the ability to keep the ball for multiple phases. And I've got to point out, Josh Butler has been everywhere. The number 20 for Toreros must have had about 5 carries at all different points in that whole attack. But the building of phases will be something that USD will be so happy about. Keeping hold of the ball, playing on their terms. And in the end, I think Troffier, he actually wanted to go over the try line himself for the number 10, which we've all been there. A little bit of white line fever. You don't score too many tries as a fly half, but he did manage to get the offload away for the try for the Toreros. So good work overall. Simple, basic rugby, but done really clinically. Another try from the Toreros this afternoon.
Troffier's conversion is left of the post, had the distance, but flags will stay down. Score will remain 61-22. So probably a few more phases left in this one. Separating the Toreros from their date with the Vikings of Western Washington.
Well, if there's any big reward for a man of the match, a player of the match, I should say, I will probably give it to a fellow fly half. You have a look here at the offload just by Troffier. He really has had a complete game, just not scored himself, as now the Toreros go away for another one.
Habib down the sideline, switches the ball, fends his man, and he's going to find some space under the post here, making a late case for man of the match himself.
I was just about to say, have I called it too early? Because Paul Habib has been everywhere. Oh dear, he literally went flying as we came off that highlight, that replay. Great score by the number 12. He's been such a key member of this team now for a good couple or so seasons. But yeah, I still got to try and keep it to Troffier just because of his ability, his playmaking. He's controlled the game well. His boot has been excellent. and it's something that I would say is given the platform for this performance today overall. But Paul Habib, what a solo effort that was, Scott. You're probably going to tell me I've made the wrong decision.
I won't tell you nothing. You made a good case for Trough here. Habib with a fantastic full length of the field try. Conversion is true. 68-22 Toreros. Possibly the last phase of play.
Here we go, just having another look at this replay. Paul Habib just charging it down that sideline. He had no right to beat these last defenders.
Really like that cut. Bring the ball over, switch the ball in the hand, and then fend with the free right hand. Fantastic stuff there.
Great stuff. And in the end, this has now been a convincing win. A convincing performance as well, going into the next round.
One final reset by the Beavers. Kaz Astley finds some air. Beautiful aerial take, and he's looking to make a run of his own. Ball squirts free for the Beavers. Taken down into contact here. Beaver ball. Spun out left to Dylan Alexander. Tackler finds the turf, spun out once more. Beavers attacking to the right-hand side here. Great spin pass out here to find some daylight. Number 20, Jonathan Nawasa, but a great tackle. Another good tackle, bringing the big man down. I believe that's Chubbs Maleta. Big Frank looking to offload possibly. Beaver spin left. Bring the attack back right, unfortunately knocked on. And that will be the match here. The Toreros successfully continuing their playoff campaign towards their three-peat. Doing so in convincing manner here on Manchester Field.
68 points to 22. It's a scoreline that is reflective of the performance that the USD Toreros have put in. It's been convincing. It's been in control for large majority of the game. We've got to credit American River, certainly their fight back in the second half. I'm sure there'll be areas of this Toreros performance they will look to try and amend a little bit, maybe tighten up a little bit loose in the second half, but nonetheless, did the job today. Go to the next round with a lot of confidence and a full squad effort as well. Great to see the impact from the bench, both sides of the ball from the Toreros, and equally, I should say as well, for the Beavers today. It's been good fun. Appreciate you having me along, Scott.
Always great to have you here, Will Hooley. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, TVX Sports, for delivering this extremely high-quality product, bringing it right into your living rooms, as I'm sure you're not interested in watching any Final Four NCAA basketball. You're here for some D1AA CRA rugby action. Doing a great job, as always, bringing it to you. Hope to see you as well next time. For Will Hooley, Scott Thomas, till we meet again.
Congratulations to Big D on winning the signed San Diego Legion jersey. Thank you all for coming out and supporting Torero Rugby. It's been a great day all around. Give it up for your victorious USD Toreros.